Hello my friends, welcome back. I hope today finds you well. We're going to talk about transplanting today. So as you saw in my last video, I kind of had an issue when I was transplanting and all my root balls fell apart on me. And that was my fault because I didn't take the time ahead of time to give them a little bit of water and just to make sure that there was some moisture in there to help the soil to compact together and not fall apart on me. So totally my fault, So we're going to talk about transplanting today. So why do we transplant? Basically, your roots need room. They need room to grow, they need room to spread out, and this allows them to be strong and healthy. Roots with no room can become cramped and can't spread out, causing the plant to become root bound. This will choke the plant, leading to stunted growth and can even kill your plants. So your container size will determine how big your plant is going to get. But you don't want to start in too big of a container. As you've seen in the past that I've shown you, is that you can easily overwater your plants and kill them. It's just better to start off in a smaller one and just keep transplanting up as the plant gets bigger and keeps growing. Most growers start in a solo cup or a 1 gallon and then transplant into a larger container. If you don't transplant your plants, the plant will become root bound as the roots run out of room and can't grow any longer. Symptoms of root bound are flimsy new growth, stunted flowering production, stem discoloration, usually turning red, nutrient sensitivity, and nutrient deficiency. A root-bound plant may also appear underwater. Most plants will need to be transplanted at least 1 to 2 times during their life, but it could be more depending on your personal preference and what kind of cultivar you're growing. Examples of what people usually transplant are usually they'll either start in a solo cup or a 1 gallon, and then they'll transplant up to either a 2 gallon or a 3 gallon, and then from there they'll go up to a 5 gallon. And that's generally what most growers do, but you get the odd ones that you still keep going a little bit bigger a couple of times because they want their plants to get bigger, because the size of the pot is going to determine the size of your plant. As I said before, it all comes down to personal preference and how big you want your plant to get. Some signs that you need to transplant. The number of leaves that you have on your plant. It's usually ready around 4 or 5 sets of leaves, but keep in mind that this will vary from strain to strain. Another sign that it's time to transplant is root development. A plant should have a healthy and white root system. If roots are growing out of the drainage holes in the bottom of your cup or your container, it's time to transplant. Any discoloration or darkening of the roots may indicate that the plant has become root bound and should be transplanted right away. So another sign that you're ready to transplant is that you're at the end of your veg. Your plant should be in its final pot before entering the final flowering stage, and you should make sure your plant has adequate room for all the roots to spread out and grow. You should be looking to at least double the space of its previous pot. So these are some things you should do when you're first transplanting from your solo cup into your 1 gallon. Give the plant a light sprinkle of water to help minimize shock. Don't drench the soil as it'll be difficult to work with. Fill the receiving pot with soil and leave enough space for the plant. Avoid overpacking the soil during and after transplant. This can affect drainage and damage the root system. Try not to disturb or damage the roots when transplanting. The first transplant poses the greatest risk for shock. Avoid intense light, as this will help prevent shock as well. Fully water the plant once it's in its new home. Depending on what cultivar you're growing, you may need to transplant your plant a 2nd or 3rd time to maximize its growing potential. Always monitor your plants for symptoms of distress and overcrowded roots. Always do your last transplant before flower, never during. Alright, so that's it for today. Hopefully that helps you understand transplanting a little bit better. Have yourselves a great day. Take care of each other, be kind to each other. Stay elevated. Peace out.